Hello everybody and welcome back to Ethiopia, where I just fired up Imperator Rome for a little bit of recording this morning and discovered in the news feed that they have announced that the Livy update and Punic Wars pack is coming out on December 3rd. Now, as of the day I'm recording that's 6 days in the future, or recording this, that's 6 days in the future, and based on the way the schedule is panning out, I will have a recording session ending on December 3rd. So December 4th would be the soonest that could affect us. And realistically, they haven't announced whether it's going to be save game compatible or not. So I think the plan going forward is, assuming that it is save game compatible, I will make a special save game specifically on this version. I will make a special save game. We'll try updating, and then if it breaks everything, we'll just be able to revert back to the special save game. That's kind of the plan, but if they say that it is not save game compatible, then we will be remaining on this version for the remainder of this portion of this playthrough. So that's kind of the plan going forward. Also, we need to fight Adulia, a question of competence. I mean, Euclid is not very competent, I think that's pretty clear, realistically speaking. At least, not competent at keeping his popularity up, that's for sure. So, we've got ourselves our two armies now. They are both pretty weak at this point, but ultimately I think we want to bring them to both be 5/5/5, or maybe 5/5/10 if we've got the supply limit. Supply limit of 34, 22 around there, 16 up here, that's a little spooky. That is not great supply limits. Okay. Well, we don't want to give Zosimus Senuid any more power than he's already got for right now, right? So we want to be pouring all of our efforts into this particular army, and we can set it to drilling. And as soon as this one arrives, we can set it to drilling as well. I'm okay with them. Like, these are already all loyal, so I'm okay with them drilling. These here, none of them are loyal, but I'm still okay with them drilling. Experience is still really good. Now, we've got our Marshal and our Researcher. We have a claim on the province of Axum. That's fantastic. Our Marshal and Researcher are both disloyal, but that's okay. 0.97% of the power base is disloyal. That's not a threat. Now, our Marshal is supporting the wrong guy, but I think that's ultimately okay. We could maybe fire him. Or we could just wait for him to die. He's 65. He's probably gonna die pretty soon. Do we want any of these inventions? Capital import routes, heavy infantry discipline. A monthly tyranny reduction would actually be super solid. We're gonna go for that, because we are at 17.1. Okay. Excellent. Or, not 17, 7.1 tyranny. Did I say corruption reduction? Because it's actually tyranny reduction. Whatever. Close enough. We are also, of course, constructing a few settlements over here, but more than anything, we are currently rebuilding our forces. We need 1,000 more men, and that'll be not too long before this is fully reinforced. And then we can start building up this army here to go after Adulia, who broke their alliance with us, and then wanted it back, but we said no. Now, Axum is only allied with us, so that is really, really good for us. In the meantime, we can be working on colonizing this area down this way towards Mundia, and then we can conquer this territory over on the Horn of Africa. That would be great to have. And otherwise, we can also continue our expansion into the Arabian Peninsula, which we have a pretty solid foothold in. So that's kind of the game plan right now, although realistically, I feel like the higher priority stuff right now is take Adulia, if we can, diplo-vassalize Axum, go after Boris, because I want this province right here in Kush. This is an incredible province because it produces iron. And that is a huge deal. That allows us to produce heavy infantry, which is essentially going to mean we can crush everybody around here. So that's kind of our high priority game plan right now. This stuff down here is kind of low priority, and we'll probably do it in between major wars. Same with this over here. We'll take opportunities when we see them, but overall this is not going to be high priority. Taking Adulia, dealing with Axum, whether that be vassalizing or conquering. Same with Boris, and then attacking into Kush here, and getting a border with Egypt. Of course, Egypt is more powerful than us. There is no doubt about that. They have 74 cohorts. That's kind of a lot. Do they have access to iron now? I know Egypt starts with no access to iron, and they really struggle with it. Looks like this is their first access to iron down over in Kush over here. So they currently... Actually, this one is. They currently do not have access to iron. Unless they're trading for it, which they may be. It's hard to say. We are up to 65 gold, though. We could consider maybe building something. Maybe upgrading a settlement. Alternately, we could maybe upgrade our capital to a city? Let's see here. That would take 200 gold. Okay. Yeah, I'm kind of feeling like we should work on upgrading all of our settlements to cities, but we want to do it kind of slowly over time, because we don't want to have too much of our output missing at any given time. We have an unused trade route, but of course nobody's willing to trade anything with us, so that's okay. So I think we're not going to build any more of these settlements, just because I feel like we should probably work on making these be proper cities rather than settlements. We have a lot of catch-up to do in that regard, and that's going to be pretty expensive, too. We are gaining manpower, so we're going to need to expand this army for sure. We don't have the manpower to do that just yet, but that'll happen soon enough. The other question, of course, is how long is it before Atule here really converts from Macrobian culture to Axumite culture? The answer is, it's gonna take a while. But it's not too bad, really. We already have 6 Axumite pops. So this conversion is probably going to change us to be majority, right? Oh, wait, this is... Right, this is faith conversion. Converting from Kemetic to Arabic. It's the assimilation here. That's going to be actually a little faster. Okay. Our citizens are euphoric. The patriotic citizens in Yeha are ecstatic at our benevolent rule. We're benevolent? Okay, good to know. In honor of our majesty, they've kindly raised a rather pitiful sum of gold, hoping to procure some political favor. We simply hadn't the heart to tell them the gift was a trifle. 2 popularity, 36 gold. That's actually not that bad. I'll happily take that. I mean, that's like 15% of what we need to upgrade this into a city. It's really not bad. Great cities can be upgraded into metropolises. Interesting. We'll probably start doing metropoli, because I like the Greek plural there. After the... actually, that's a Latin plural, isn't it? Whatever. I like that plural better, but we'll probably start doing that after we've upgraded a bunch of things into cities, because that's like twice as expensive. Does it take twice as long, too? Nope, same amount of time. Okay. Good to know. So if I'm reading this correctly, yeah, we have 6 Macrobians and 6 Axumites. When this assimilation happens in June of 489, we should be able to colonize Dumar. which is going to be fancy. And it is part of this province, which is nice. Yeah. So we'll just keep pushing down this way. We'll probably... They have 5 pops in here right now, and they're all Microbian. We have a scandal. Who is this? Daughter of the Marshal and the Royal Tutor, and the wife of the Royal Tutor. Okay, that's awkward. He would lose his position in the government. Do we care about that? He's a member of the Senuid family. Or we could just have him flogged. No, we'll kick him out of the government. We have scorned families. We can get rid of a Senuid here and put in someone else, like a Nectanabid or a Hilaid. Everybody sucks at this. Okay. That's wonderful. We're gonna put this guy in anyway. He's terrible at the job, but for political reasons, he's there. Wonderful. Unfortunately, it wasn't this guy who did it, although it was with his daughter, so that would have been really awkward. Really, really awkward, in fact. But hey, we almost have 1,000 manpower, but we still need another 6,000, or well, another 5,000 manpower in total to get this army up to snuff, up to about where we want it to be. I mean, ultimately, I do want this army to be 5-5-10. I feel like that's going to be the proper way to handle it. And I should probably unpause the game. But we can see here that this guy's already developing loyalty, which is not necessarily the best thing, but how's his loyalty to us? 56. He's investing in opportunities right now. That's okay. He can do that. He's gonna get maybe a bit ambitious. But that's fine. We can always pay off his veterans or whatever. I don't think we'll have a problem with it really now that we have 2 separate armies. Also, I'd be a little surprised if it's coming through the mic, but there's a bit of a blizzard going on outside, so if you hear any wind noises coming through the microphone, that's what's going on. So, that's exciting. I'm gonna have to clear that in a little bit. Ugh. It's gonna be disgusting. But for right now, we're doing this. Excellent. Wait, who is this? Cavonia, huh? Interesting. I have no idea who that is, or why they're up here. There's a settlement there. Okay. Let's check in on our assimilation status here. November of 489 now. Oh, as our tyranny is going down, that's actually slowing down our assimilation. That's interesting. That's very interesting. It's like, for example, over here. That's going very quickly because we're on cultural assimilation. Down here, we're on cultural assimilation, but it's less effective. Governor difference? Probably governor difference, I think. Because this is run by us, and we're not very good at anything other than being king. And that's arguable. Very, very arguable. Regardless, we've still got about a year before we can expand into Dumar. They're building a tetre down here. Although, I'm still wondering, do they actually not have any territory? Like, why would I say territory? Do they actually not have any army, is what I meant to say? I don't know. It's going to be interesting, to be sure. And as we recruit, we should start with the heavy cavalry, since those are the most expensive. So we'll build 2 units of heavy cavalry and get that finished up. They're also the most effective. Like, against anything that these guys can throw against us, heavy cavalry are going to do basically all the work, except for in a siege. Cavalry, not so good at sieging. But that's what light infantry is for, as it just sucks down the manpower. Ugh. Well, anyway, it is time to put a cut in here. Not a whole lot happened in this particular episode, but that's to be expected. We've had a couple of action-packed ones recently, and just taking some time to stabilize has been super nice. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and I will see you all next time.